kind of getting overlooked. And for that, Martin Truex misses the playoffs. And Martin Truex with what, 4th in points? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
With the most stage wins out of anyone. Go ahead and make your argument, because I know we're different on this.
I already made it. My argument is top 16 in points, or even top 12.
Okay, that's not what I was talking about. Martin Truex missed the playoffs, and he deserved to miss the playoffs. He didn't win a race. He didn't do what he needed to do to make the playoffs. Simple as that.
Absurd. That is an absurd point.
I mean, with the rules given to us,
an unjust law is not okay.
I mean,
if something is legal to do, but is unjust, it's not okay just because it's a law.
I mean, we're not talking about like.
I know it's a legal law. It's a legal comparison, but just because those are the rules doesn't make it right. It's a fucking farce.
I mean,
I can go down the list and point you the guys that are less deserving of being in the playoffs than Martin Truex Jr.
I mean, there's plenty, that are less deserving. But
William Byron is less deserving of being in the playoffs than Martin Truex Jr.
Okay. I mean, he didn't do what he needed to do. Yeah, I mean, does it suck? Yeah. Does it warrant probably some change to how we judge how guys get in? Yeah, I mean, I've said it on here. I think it should be different, but there's too many people just crying about it. Like, I mean,
like, it's not devastating to me because I don't think he was going to win the championship, but it's just Austin Dillon got in and Austin Cindric. I mean, Austin Cindric's been fine this year under my format. He's in anyway, but it's like over Martin Truex, who has the most stage wins, he's been okay this year. They haven't been that bad. Like, had an opportunity to win a couple races.
Had an opportunity to win a couple, did not win.
Yeah, that's cup racing. You don't always have a season where you win a bunch. It happens.
I mean, when this is the cards you're dealt, you got to figure it out, bud. Those other guys figured it out.
I'm not saying they shouldn't have won a race. Obviously, they should have won a race, but I don't agree with it. Yeah. I think it's stupid.
I mean, I definitely made the argument that Austin Dillon didn't deserve to be in the playoffs, but
I mean, right now you're making the argument that winning one race is better than a whole season's worth of results, which is exactly what we've been raging against.
Well, if you would be quiet for 4 seconds, I was going to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think Austin Dillon, I mean, yeah, he won a race. He met the criteria and deserves to be in because he met the criteria. Martin Truex Jr. did not meet the criteria, therefore does not deserve to be in. Under that, looking at that as this is what we have. This is what we all knew coming in this year. It's almost, the reaction to this is almost like people are shocked that he missed just shocked that he missed the playoffs, and that like how could NASCAR let him miss the playoffs? Like, I mean, like they didn't know that if you didn't win a race and 16 guys won, that you weren't getting in. Like, he didn't make it. He didn't make it. I mean, is it bullshit? Yeah, probably. But I mean, he didn't make it. Like, he didn't do what he needed to do. I mean, I'm sick of arguing about shit. I'm sick of arguing about shit that, like, we've known for months and years. Like, it's not going to change.
We're not arguing the same point then. We're running around each other. We're not arguing the same point. You're arguing that, yes, he didn't deserve to get in based off the rules. I agree with you 100%. That is exactly where we're at. Does he deserve a chance based off of where he is, where he's been running? Yes. Should he win the title either way? No.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I understand, like, I understand that he I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore.
I just think if you're gonna do a format like this where you want to have the most deserving guys and the most likely guys to actually make a push toward the title. You want those guys in your top 16 or 12 or whatever. Those are the guys you want. You don't really want guys in there who flashed for one race. And I say flashed loosely because it required an act of God for them to get in.
God.
So yes, whatever. It's hyperbolic. Those are the guys you want more, you want those guys. You don't want guys who just came in and showed up for one race and dipped, because it weakens your field. And then you don't have as entertaining of a product, because that's all this is. We want an entertaining product. Well, you're going to have a more entertaining product with a guy like Martin Truex involved in the playoff chase for the championship than you are with Austin Dillon being involved.
So that's true.
That's my argument.
That's true. And I think you were right. We were kind of running around each other because, yeah, I don't know. I definitely called that Martin Truex wasn't going to win a race this year, and he hasn't so far.
He still could.
And I feel like at one point I did say he wasn't going to make the playoffs too before the season started.
Before the season started?
I think I said at some point he won't win a race and there's going to be 16 winners and he's not going to make it.
I believe you. I just don't recall exactly. Yeah. I do remember you for sure saying he wasn't going to win though.
Yeah, and he missed and let's take this into account too. He missed the playoffs on basically, like, it was his fault. He was in, and then he was like, I'm going to run up in the middle of the pack. Why not? Fuck it. And then gets himself wrecked. He was in because of that. And he was also only had an opportunity to get in because they waived Kurt Busch's playoff waiver, which, yeah, let's get into this rabbit hole real quick.
Well, he still had the opportunity because Blaney had such a shit day, but
he did. Well, that's what I'm saying. He blew that opportunity when he went up and tried to race for the win.
I got you.
And then got himself wrecked. But he doesn't even have that opportunity. Kurt Busch, yeah, the statement was put out that Kurt Busch is like, I don't want to take a spot in the playoffs from my fellow drivers, which I believe that Kurt, thinks that or said that. But I also believe that Toyota was like, yo, Kurt, you going to be back in 3 weeks? Kurt's like, I don't know. All right, well, we're taking your playoff waiver away because we got to increase our opportunity for Martin Truex, who's on the mothership. We got to make sure he gets a better shot at getting in the playoffs. So you're done, buddy. Which,
I don't know if it's as much the mothership as it is, hey, you might be rusty too. Like, even if you come back for Darlington, it's been 5 weeks. Like,
I mean, he earned a spot in.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, if you're Toyota, and Martin's pretty good at Darlington too.
Dude, too many examples have been made to me that, like, all that matters at Toyota is Joe Gibbs Racing, and all that, Joe Gibbs has so much pull, and he always has.
No, yeah.
And there is one dominant team. Not even talking about on the track at that manufacturer. It's Joe Gibbs Racing. They are the mothership. They get the best stuff. They get everything they want. And they got an opportunity to run for the playoffs because Kurt, I don't know, man.
I have a hard time with this one because I think you're right.
I think Kurt. I don't think Kurt was going to come back, but I don't like the fact that I guess I don't like the fact that it gave an opportunity for someone who to get in because of it. It's almost like the Jeff Gordon rule. It didn't turn out that way. It didn't end up coming to fruition, but in a sense, it is.
I mean, I guess, but like, say Kurt comes back for Darlington and he's in the playoffs and goes on this tangent, like wins fucking title. He missed 5 weeks. Like, we're gonna feel like
we've already proven that's fine.
I know. Do we want to? Do we want to do it again? Do we? That was like kind of a black eye. Do we really want to do that again?
I would rather. Well, here's the difference in those two situations. With Kyle Busch in 2015, Kyle Busch he had not made the playoffs yet. He had not locked himself into the playoffs. Kurt Busch locked himself in and then was hurt. And that's where I see the difference. Because Kyle didn't even start the season. I think that Kyle should not have been allowed to make the playoffs. Kurt started the season and locked himself in, and then missed races. And I think if he comes back, yeah, sure, go for it.
Well,
and I would much rather either him make the playoffs like he did, come back at Darlington, go on a tear and win the championship, or there just be 15 guys in the playoffs and we eliminate 3 guys instead of 4 in the first round, than Martin Truex getting in because of this. And we all know I'm not the biggest Martin Truex fan in the world, and it has nothing to do with that. It is just I don't think it goes back to this, he didn't meet the criteria to make the fucking playoffs. Like, I'm sorry.
The criteria is clearly flexible if you're okay with a guy getting in who missed 5 weeks.
I mean, no, because he locked himself in. He proved that he met the criteria.
He did in like 26th in points, which I understand is within the rules. Again, that's another area I'm not a fan of, but I don't see how that's like a problem.
I don't think. Okay, so I'll give you. Okay, maybe Kurt shouldn't have been allowed to go, or been allowed to be in the playoffs after missing. Whatever the fucking law statement you made earlier. But I still don't think Martin Truex should have deserved to get in because of that. I think there should have been only 15 guys.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, we've never dealt with this scenario before where a medical waiver was given, and then it's like, okay, because we, at that point we were like, okay, 1, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And now
we've seen similar situations, but not the exact situations. And so it's kind of hard to judge. But
the only one I can think of was like the one they gave for Tony Stewart in 2014 when they weren't sure how many weeks he was going to be out after the incident.
Yeah.
So that's the only one I can think of. Obviously, that didn't impact anything. Tony was terrible that year.
I think fucking waivers are dumb anyway. I think if you're gonna have playoff waivers, dude, you shouldn't have to get a waiver because, one, they hand them out like candy. No one has ever not gotten a waiver, except for Grant Enfinger because he didn't have a ride for 1 week, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I think if you're in the top 30 in points, which that's a debate for another day.
Yep.
And you win a race, you should be in the playoffs.
I think as long as you didn't not race because you said, I don't want to race, you should be in.
Which no one's going to do.
Exactly. They all have contracts. They all have sponsors. They're not going to do that. That was the whole point of the rule, was that so we didn't get guys win a race and then say, well, I'm going to take a couple weeks off because I'm within the top 30. I already won. And now we have bonus points. So even if you take away the contracts and the sponsorships, we have
there's still too much on the line.
Exactly. You can gain so much by just being in the race. You could win a race. You could win the
No
stages.
guy's gonna pass up trying to win a race.
Exactly. Yeah. So the rule is dumb. We just need to go away from it.
Yeah.
Look at literally everything else for how we get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
You do that and you don't have this problem. You shorten the top whatever rule, or you just get rid of winning you're in to begin with. I'll make that argument. I won't get too in depth into it. It's not the time. We're essentially rambling.
Hey man,
but literally, if you do the top 16, this is not a problem.
You gotta, like I've always said about everything, you gotta compromise. You gotta.
I'll give you the last 4 spots in the playoffs because those are the guys less likely to do anything anyway.
No, look, top 10 in points get in, 6 drivers get in on wins.
As long as we have guaranteed spots for a certain amount of guys in the top, whatever, I'm okay.
Yeah.
That's my thing. And for what it's worth, when they designed this was not ever going to be an issue. The closest we got was last year, but it still wasn't really an issue because
they were damn sure hoping it was.
Yeah, they were. Well, I don't know if they were. I don't think they assumed it wasn't because the field wasn't as tight as it is now. The field is as tight as it ever has been or ever will be because next year I think the top teams are going to start to space themselves out again. This is as tight as it'll ever be, I think, until maybe we go to Gen 8 or whatever. But yeah, I think at least top 10. I would say top 12. I would say top 16. But
it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need some guaranteed spots.